Johnson, and this is focused on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Boakai, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony C. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for joining Focus on Liberia. Of course, this is the Hour of Politics. I can't welcome you enough to this evening or nighttime edition of the Hour of Politics. It's been a while for those of you who know me, and I'm excited to be here to talk politics. And I'm talking about the politics of Liberia, a subject that some of you actually really like. I don't know why. I don't know where is the politics taking you. But it is our politics, so we have to be involved, isn't it? The topic for today's discussion on this hour of politics is Jose Imam Boakai's first year and the need for a reshuffle. Do me a favor, share the broadcast with somebody, and stay right here because you will be a participant in this particular discussion. I have already opened the phone line, and I will give you the opportunity to give your take on the first year and whether or not you think there is a need for a reshuffle. And if you agree that there should be a reshuffle, who you think should stay and who you think should go? Why do you think there should be a reshuffle in the first place? What's the essence of a reshuffle? Given the way the government has performed, the cabinet performed, did the cabinet serve Mr. Boakai very well? Did the cabinet serve the president well? Are there some members of the cabinet who perform satisfactorily? Are there some members of the cabinet who have demonstrated competence? And are there some members of the cabinet who have demonstrated incompetence? What should be done with those who show nothing but incompetence? What should be done about those members of the cabinet who actually perform satisfactorily? Do you even agree that some of them perform well? Do you also agree some did not perform well at all? Are you of the opinion that some should be let go and some should stay? I want to hear your take, and that is why you need to be here on the Hour of Politics here at Focus on Liberia. Again, my name is Anthony Sie, and I cannot welcome you enough to this discussion. It's going to be an analysis, as I always try my best to do, in order to have a civil and educative discussion. Well, the campaign was launched. The candidate became Joseph Boakai. That political party having to be Unity Party. They had a message. They had a team. They told us they were Team Rescue. They were coming to rescue us from bad governance, from incompetence, from the lack of the rule of law. They were here to rescue us from all the vices that have been keeping us either stagnated or backward. And so they chose a candidate of their choice in person of Mr. Joseph Boakai, who they have sold to us to have been the most competent and experienced gentleman who will hit the ground running because of his length of experience in governance. The Liberian people heard him. And more than likely, the Liberian people decided they have to give them a chance. For what they had was not good enough. And so the choice was made, and we had a new president, and now we do. Joseph Boakai will be inaugurated. Joseph Boakai will start to put his cabinet to work. And Joseph Boakai government will be on this rescue mission. The question we are asking now, how did this rescue operation do for the first year? And given how they have performed, is a reshuffle necessary? Should the government be retooled? Should there be some alignment? Where did you find inefficiencies? Where did you find efficiency? Should we keep those individuals who were efficient and let go those individuals who were not efficient or incompetent? You might be saying yes. And the reason is because we want to do better. Because we were promised the goods will be delivered. We were promised that experience will be brought to bear. And no rookies will be in the room. And because we were in distress economically, politically, socially, and I think I heard Mother Ellen Johnson Sully at one time say, any kind of way, we were in peril. And so a rescue operation needed to be conducted and captained by the most experienced public servant of our time. Joseph Boakai got to work. Cabinet members were appointed, and they got to work. A year later, the question remains profound. How did it do? So, here are my analysis. Folks, I cannot analyze this without emphasizing that the mission was to rescue Liberia. In a rescue operation, the first thing we must all recognize is the fact that the nation Liberia was in distress. And a rescue mission is an emergency operation for immediate relief. When people are choosing words, those words have meaning, and those who utter those words should know the meaning of those words. Rescue mission. There was an emergency. Liberia as a nation was in distress. An immediate resolution was needed. Somebody needed to be removed from a place of danger. The life of the nation Liberia was at stake. And something emergency needed to be done in no time. We didn't have time to waste. We needed to get to business right away. Imagine someone, say a young child who cannot swim, during a car accident. Now that child is in the river, a river that is flowing down with voracious speed. And you have somebody to conduct a rescue operation. Bear you in mind, the child cannot swim. The child cannot survive in a river that is running at full speed, that is filled with crocodiles and other animals. That child who cannot swim cannot survive in that water or under that water for about 15 minutes. If an immediate rescue operation is not conducted in no time, we will not have that child alive. This is the picture that was painted. Was I in agreement that we needed a rescue operation? Of course. Look at our nation, Liberia. Look at the way it was being run by those who were in charge. The level of recklessness, the level of incompetence, the way they treated their responsibilities. Starting with the president, Mr. George Manawiya Mahuntambo, he was dancing all over the place. He was traveling extravagantly. He would leave the country. At one point, he would stay away for 40 days, enjoy himself, while civil servants were going months without pay. At one point, a finance minister, Samuel Twell, would change his ticket for 25,000 United States dollars. At one point, they had to go to China. They were telling us about a mineral swap worth $1 billion United States dollars that never happened. A delegation over 50 persons were taking their hotel, their peda, their transportation, and all of that. Why mine detour? Why your high school? Why your community was in complete shambles? Why trash was all over the place, and Morovia was infested with trash and smelling. And at some point, an ambassador had to say, Morovia, to get it right, was the dirtiest city in Africa. So if you ask me, did we need a rescue operation? Is a resounding yes. And so they were right when they said a rescue operation was needed. And that rescue operation, we needed a competent rescue team. Did we get that rescue team? The Liberian people chose a team. We were told, we were lectured, we were being bamboozled, was competent enough to get the job done on day one. Who are members of that rescue operation that you know? Do you see competence? Do you see diligence? Do you see that they are thorough? Or do you see the same old, same old? One is appointed and then they obtain the honorable title, and now that person has become boss and does nothing absolutely other than to be called boss man or Mr. Minister or honorable, and sits by and does nothing and get paid very handsomely, rides a free car at the expense and at the detriment and displeasure of the Liberian people. And that one is hailing an agency of government. And when one shows up to obtain a certification of any service for that matter, they have to go back from one day to the other and can't even get that service. Inefficiencies is visible in every place. Look at the capital. Look at our first branch of government, the legislature. Individuals in this 21st century are using cutlasses to cut the grass in the year of the first branch of government that gets the biggest chunk of the national budget year after year. Hello? Oh yes, we need a rescue operation. Whether or not we got the rescue team that was needed for the rescue operation is the question I'm asking, and I want answers from you. And then the phrase came about, no business as usual. In Liberia, what do we call business as usual? Buying cars for government officials, corruption, disrespect for the rule of law, and you help me name it all. People not taking their responsibilities serious. Some people show up to work at government ministry and agency. They have absolutely no piece of job to do but to sit down on their behind and have no function whatsoever. And at the end of the month, they want to get paid. Where is the efficiency? I have no idea of any ministry or agency in government where when one gets employed today, that person is put through a job employment training, onboarding training. Do we have regular training, annual training in Liberia, in government? Do we have it for efficiency to build the capacity of those individuals so that they will know what to do and how to do it? Do we have that? No, we don't have that. This is business as usual. This is not rescue operation. So, folks, I will show you this image. This is a rescue team that you see. This rescue team is in readiness. This rescue team is trained. The rescue team is equipped. The rescue team is ready right now to carry on rescue operation. This rescue team, each member knows what to do, because we are talking about a situation where an immediate solution is needed. This is an emergency situation they are going for. This is not a time for rookies or misfits, because something is at stake and time is not in our favor. Think about that image again. What level of readiness do you see in some of our officials of government? Our leaders, what level of readiness do you see? What level of urgency do you see? I see complacency. I see unseriousness. I see business as usual. I see people just comfortable. that their fellow citizens are walking in potholes filled with dirty waters and nothing been done about it for years, and they are comfortable. I see hospitals become death traps, and yet the allotment to hospitals are completely meaningless. Business as usual. This is not rescue operation. Look, we have to get serious. This is a school in our country, Liberia. Liberia, students dropping out of school in Rivers due to lack of teachers. Look at this school building. Is this even a school building? Should this be a school in our country? In this age, we are in the modern world. Look at that image. That has been a school in one of our counties. A county being represented by senators and representatives. One of our counties. And we have a president. And we have presidents. And yet, that is a school. If a child goes to that school, what do you expect? That thing is not a school. There's a saying, garbage in, garbage out. So we had that school or that structure as a school in our country when President Weah was president. Will that change? This is just one of the many emergencies that we have in our country. That building must be rescued to rescue that child who goes to that thing called school. But at the time of the past government, this is the grave of Nathaniel Mangay, beloved and fallen under during the CDC time. You see the image here? Mangay's mother has passed. He was Minister of Presidential Affairs then. And while we had this building as a school in our country, and Mangay was the Minister of Presidential Affairs, charged with the responsibility as the Chief Administrator of the nation Liberia, a school in Rivers, one of our counties, was in this condition. Why this school was in this condition, it was none of Mangay's business. And Mangay's mother has passed, and this is what Mangay did for his mother. Where did a Mangay get money from to build that for his mother? And that structure had electricity. Mangay's mother's grave had electricity. But that school had no electricity. And I'm sure today it does not. Will it be changed? So we needed a rescue team that would be serious. We needed a rescue team that would be cognizant of the number of emergency and crisis situations we've had. And therefore, we allot the national budget intentionally to arrest these emergencies. Is that what you see today? Our national budget, over 85% is responsible for the big shots. The vice president of Liberia today, his budget is over 2 million United States dollars. The president budget is over 2 million United States dollars. But hear me and hear me well. No community college in Liberia as we speak has a budget that is more than 2 million. I repeat, zero. No community college in Liberia that has a budget either about or above 2 million Liberian dollars. United States dollars. So the rescue operation was coming to save, the situation at these community colleges. The community colleges are now equipped. The teachers are now regular because they are, chronically underfunded. And now we continue with the same pattern of putting more money in the pockets of presidents and vice presidents, senators and representatives and ministers, and abandoning the people who actually we were told they have come to rescue. But let's place the emphasis a little more on these government officials, because if the rescue operation must be successful, the rescue soldiers, they must be equipped. Mentally, they must be equipped. They must be ready. They must have the sophistication. They should have the intentionality. They should have the credibility. They should have the sense of responsibility. They should have patriotism. They should know that they have one sole responsibility to improving the human and material conditions of the people for whom they were appointed to serve. Is that what you see them doing? Answer me, somebody. So tell me, do you know some members of the cabinet who are doing well? Or are they just dressing in fine clothes, driving in fine cars, sitting in air-conditioned offices, and just sitting in the offices, not thinking, and on weekend showing up to nightclubs and getting booze and not thinking about the problem they have come to solve? Have they forgotten that they are on a rescue operation? Have they forgotten that they are members of a rescue team? Hello, somebody. I hope I'm making sense here with this pointing analysis of the issue. Who are the ministers that are performing? But let me share something with you, which will be the second segment here, and then I will bring you in to participate. And so don't go anywhere. President Joseph Boakai did something intended. The intent of it actually remains that members of his cabinet will be accountable, will be dutiful, and that if they do not take their responsibility serious, he will let them go. Because efficiency in government leads to productivity and the delivery of basic social service satisfactorily, thereby leading to improving the human and material conditions in the country. That is how a government will be able to not only uphold but fulfill the social contract. So President Boakai had introduced the Performance Management and Compliance System, PMCS they call it. And he also introduced further the Code of Conduct. These two policy documents actually intended to enhance two major things among others: transparency and accountability. Look, talking about the Performance Management and Compliance System, this initiative suggests that President Boakai is committed to improving governance, and that wherever he will find incompetence, those people will be going through the window, not through the door, but through the window. So, folks, tell me, when we are looking at accountability, has this government been accountable enough? Has the president who introduced a measure to actually evaluate the performance of the cabinet members? This has given him the opportunity, because one thing they also did, members of the cabinet, to the best of my memory, have to sign up. They have to put their pen to the paper that I will perform my duty. And when I fail to do so, the president has the right to let me go. They must be in compliance. They must be competent. They must be up to the task. They must move the needle. They must improve services. They must not be involved in any clandestine deeds. So 1 year has gone. Did the government perform satisfactorily? Did all the ministers perform satisfactorily? The goal of the policy was intended to evaluate performance and reward performance and punish non-performance and even let non-performance go. So looking at this policy, it is necessary for a reshuffle to be done. For with no doubt, we've seen level of incompetence. We've seen people who do not even know what to do. And I will call names. Mr. Manjabate, who I always pick on, was appointed as Assistant Minister for Urban Development. That position is for somebody who should be a technician, somebody who has vast knowledge, training, and experience in urban planning. Look at our city, Monrovia, congested. You see the whole city is slum. The drainages either are clogged or we don't have any. Is Manjabate responsible for urban planning in the nation Liberia up to the tax? In your judgment, was that a serious appointment, or was that a good appointment? What has Manjabate been able to do? Has he been able to come up with a plan for the other areas in our country? Is he well suited for that job? Did the president actually exercise good judgment for appointing Mr. Manjabate to be our guy for urban development in our country? This is no malice to Manjabate, but let us show Liberia love. When you love your daughter, you want your daughter to be married to a man who will be up to the task of a man. Men with potential, men with capacity, men with capabilities, men with a know-how to be the head of a home. That's what you want for your daughter as a man. The same can be said about a woman for her son. You want your woman, your son as a woman, you want your son to be married to a woman who possesses the qualities and the abilities and the know-how of a woman, who will be able to manage that home so that when one visits, they will feel at home. Tell me this much. How do you think our foreign friends feel in Liberia when they arrive? Do they feel at home in terms of development? Do they feel comfortable in our country? Electricity alone is a challenge. If I'm not getting my history lesson right, Ghana, that got its independence some less than 70 years ago, has stable and reliable electricity 24/7. The same can be said about Ivory Coast. We got our independence before them. These are our neighbors. We are from the same great-grandparents. They have been able to provide reliable electricity in their countries. We have not. Do you want me to respect our leaders for their grave failure? So when someone visits Liberia, it becomes very noticeable that current is an issue. Electricity is an issue. Energy is an issue. Roads, another major problem. So the city is congested because the planning has been done very poorly. And now we have a man Jabate as our rescue guy to save us. Is he up to the task? What do you suggest? Should Mr. Manjabate be on the job, or should he find something else to do? And we can find a competent and experienced person who knows what to do on day one when it comes to urban planning in our country, so that our country can be respected. Hello? So using Mr. Manjabate as an example, say I'm not afraid of trouble, and my melody is trouble, by the way. I just got that one, so to speak. So is there a rescue operation? And let me give you this image again. Look at these individuals. Do you not see relevance? These are individuals who are equipped and relevant mentally, physically. They know what to do on day one. They are set to go. I don't think Mr. Manjabate is set to go for the role he has been given in the government. And now you have Comrade Noam Zau Gibson. And he's been sent to, I think the MTA, they call it, Monroe Transit Authority, to put it right. What is his qualification? Because he happened to be a partisan, they will say in Liberia. And that is his only qualification. And so what he does, he's on the radio talking about MOUs and so on and so forth. He's talking about they are painting the gate. This man is telling us that the gate to the fence of the Monroe Transit Authority has been painted. Hello? These are the things he's telling us. And you think we will get anywhere with the gate to a fence and some other things that really will not improve anything in the country? We have a bad transportation system in our country. We need people at MTA who will be able to bring relief. Our citizens are in distress when it comes to finding transportation till motorbikes and keke have taken over the city, because we have not had qualified and competent people who will know what to do to provide public transportation in the city of Monrovia. And so we have not solved the problem. The rescue mission came to solve the problem. Looking at the individuals they've given us, this is not a solution. To have an effective rescue operation, you must have well-trained rescue agents with the experience and they know how to get the rescue operation done because time is not in our favor. And I will allow you now to share your own knowledge of individuals being appointed in this government who are not up to the task. I'm glad that the president has done one thing. He has given us a tool, or himself a tool, I should say, a yardstick that he can use to weed out incompetence and replace them with competent people. So let him use it. It has become necessary because this rescue team does not look competent in my judgment. No, it is not. The president needs to read to the government in my judgment. We are the incompetent individuals. Now, we have the first here that has come to a pass now. Will every government agency head submit a report to the president outlining what they've been able to accomplish, what the challenges were, and looking at the challenges and what being accomplished, what worked, what didn't work, to make a recommendation, what should be done in the next year to correct those challenges and improve services at administration agency? Will the president demand a report from each of those he appointed? That's accountability. Hello? Will the president demand that? And will the president use it as a yardstick to keep or to let somebody go through the window? I know a rescue operation when I see one. I have had the opportunity to live in places where rescue operations being conducted. The rescue individual minds must be alert. They must be sensitive to the emergency situation. They must be focused on the individuals in distress. That is how it is done. Most of the individuals who are serving government, they are focused, not the Liberian people. Their focus is just themselves, and themselves only, which is unfortunate. Well, I have done my part. I have explained and I have given you reason why there need to be a reshuffle. So many promises made. If anything that the government achieved a lot of MOUs. And those MOUs, we can only hope that the government will go through them. I've seen MOUs. Those are aspirations, no guarantees. For the MOUs to become reality, it will depend on the individuals involved with the negotiation and discussion. The government of Liberia must exhibit readiness, must exhibit character, must exhibit seriousness for those who intend to do business with us to see reason to follow through. Corruption should not be the usual stumbling block in the ways of these MOUs that there's been floating around here as achievement. Because some of them will always ask for kickbacks. That's all they do. That is why most of them do best. And so, folks, a reshuffle is needed. And I am asking the president to see reason to do so. Many of these people have gotten comfortable in their incompetence already. Many of them have gotten comfortable in their corruption already. They need to either be removed or be transferred somewhere else. And read to the government. Give the government energy. It has been working like a tortoise. You cannot be walking like a tortoise and you say you are on a rescue mission. It does not work because you will not get there. And that person who is in distress for whom you launched the rescue operation will be dead before you get there. So, folks, I will now take a break. And when I come back, the phone line will be open and it will be your time to participate in the discussion. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned and start dialing the number right now to participate.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jar.
And I am Anthony C. and I'm back with you. We got the phone line set. I want you to participate. Do you agree that a reshuffle is needed, given the performance of the government and the performances, to put it that way, of the cabinet members of the president? Can you say there were some that did extremely well? Did some perform satisfactorily? Were some completely a letdown and should be let go? What do you think? I want to hear from you. Liberians want to hear from you. The phone line is open, and it is about time you dial that number. You've been here. Let me bring you that number quickly. I want to hear from you. We had a 1 year of operation by this government, and I just want to know from you, do you think the government needs to be reshuffled, given the level of performance we've seen? Tell us who in your judgment did well and should be kept. Who do you know did not do well at all and should be let go? And who you think, made some serious efforts and should be given a second chance? I want to hear from you. Do you agree there's a need for reshuffle or not? Is the team doing a great job? Was the rescue operation up to your taste? Was the rescue operation up to the task? Did the president conduct the rescue train well? Did he? Who was your best minister? Who was your best official of government in your judgment that did extremely well that you want to encourage to keep doing more? I want to hear from you. The number to dial, 605-313-6004. Don't hesitate to enter the code 791403 pound, and then you will get in line to be part of the discussion. The phone line, the number actually is on the screen for those who are viewing on Facebook and YouTube. And let me put the number also in the live fields there. Let me do that quickly. And while others, I see people calling already. Let me do this quickly and get some people in to start talking their own. I have said mine. I want you to talk your own. This is our country, Liberia. The thing about governance is that we as citizens have a responsibility. The individuals who are in government will not easily criticize themselves. They will not push themselves. They will not demand the best for themselves. We as a people, they are our servants. They are serving us. They need to do better. And if they don't do better, it is in our collective interest to say something for them to give us nothing but their best. And if they don't have the capacity and ability to give us their best, then of course it is nationalistic, it's patriotic, it's in our national interest to let them step aside to bring somebody who will be up to the task. That is the way it must be done. Anything less than that, then we are not ready as a people. And so, folks, we are going to the phone line. Keep the calls coming in. Keep the calls coming in. We are going to the phone line. Again, this is Anthony Sear. Of course, this is your favorite program, The Hour of Politics, where we give it to you analytically and in a very serious way. Who is ready to be our first caller is the person I'm looking at right now. And that person, I want to believe, is ready to roll. James Lazar. Let me see, Lazar. Let me increase the volume here so that Liberians can hear you well. I don't want you to come and paint a picture of glory, for there is no glory here. What I see here is overwhelming challenge, or if you like challenges, that our people facing, and we need a commander-in-chief that would be somebody who will uproot this thing and reshuffle this thing, retool the government, realign this government, and get us going. Lazar, your turn. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony, my good friend. Thank you ever so much. On the balance overall, Anthony, I have to give it to you. I think the commentary was fair. I have to say that. I mean, there are a few areas in which I definitely would like to take exception, but overall, that was a very fair, frank, objective commentary that you just made. I have to give it to you. Now, these are the few exceptions before I go to the other areas. For example, Noah Gibson, we know that he is handicapped. The question, he has a college degree. He has been an assistant minister before, so he certainly will pass as having a pedigree based on a profile to hold such a position. And that also reflects the magnanimity of the government to be a government of inclusion, so that people who are handicapped or disabled are not seen as outcasts, but that can be eligible and to be viewed as active participants in their own governance. So that is a laudable accommodation made by the government for Noah Gibson. And so I would like to go with that. Mike Jabata, I would like to be quiet on the Mike Jabata issue, political reward and other things. But look, in terms of reshuffle, I don't know whether a reshuffle something that's just supposed to happen because it is supposed to happen, or that there should be a basis for that. And I'll go with the second, with the latter. I particularly for example, issue with the Minister of Public Works. See him to be very arrogant, to project an image of competence. I don't see that. And he seems to be shying away from the media when he's controlling millions of dollars. And I didn't see any much a burden of being displayed by him when the president made a declaration that there will be no car stuck in the mud. And when that didn't seem to come through quite well, I didn't see the remorse. All I did say he wanted Albert Chair to apologize when Albert Chair is a very corrupt guy. So I have problem with that. And the guy is a fellow coming to the media. I have great concern about the Minister of Public Works and his performance. I see him going around, walking around Morovia doing roads, and to me that seems to be like a preparation for what would be another failure for this coming rainy season when there will be problems in the hinterland. You will say, well, our building roads in Morovia. I have serious concern about him. I don't have evidence for what I'm saying. I may be wrong, but let him come and prove me wrong. He shouldn't shy away from the media. When he shy away, it means something. So, on the president now, generally, the president has done significantly well again, I have to say. For example, JMB has been able to empower institutions, accountability institutions that should have existed, that should have been functional since 2005, but that were never done so because of the deception of leaders. They come and tell the people what the people want to hear instead of what the people should hear. You understand? And they lie to them and tell them we're going to create a war crimes code. And when they take power, they don't do that. Ellen did that. We have did that. Still, GMB has done that. Give it to him. Give it to him. The office of ombudsman that's also oversee the code of conduct, changing the lip service. JMB has done that. He has empowered them. He has started them. He has set them up. Give it to JMB. Okay? Now, on the issue of the asset recovery. Now, there is a history of asset recovery creation and existence in the past, but they were just on the periphery. They were not functional. And so they died by themselves because of their own deception. But there's one that JMB set up because he is a vision holder, vision bearer behind it. It has been held in the Supreme Court because the child mistake they made was that they made we are their first target with the Graceland Company. And so because of self-interest, the former speaker and the Supreme Court Chief Justice, they have held our asset recovery operation in the Supreme Court forever because they know that this is something that was going to deliver. Give it to JMB. In the end, the asset recovery is going to be set loose and we're going to see it operate. Now, overall, again, I will give the government a B for now, moving forward. And I look forward to listening to the president with an inspiring message on Monday. Thank you ever so much, Tony, for the time as well.
All right, thank you, and thank you, my friend James Lassa, for your contribution. You mentioned Mr. Giddens, who is shying away from the media. I don't know if you were paying attention, Mr. Giddens. I think he came on Focus on Liberia twice, and so he's somebody who is aware that this is a serious media institution. When he's doing a serious business, he needs to come and take some questions. He's a public servant. I don't know why he's running away from the media. But we will reach out again. We've been trying to reach out. I hope Mr. Giddens will see reason to come and sit with us here, Focus on Liberia. He's serving me. He's serving us, the Liberian people. When we have questions, he needs to come and answer them. That's why he's getting paid. That's a good point. And then also your defense again, Mr. Noel Zhao Gibson. This is also a debate, and I think you were very strong in his defense based on what you know. To be honest, I don't know much, but I don't see competence. You told me about qualification. I'm not a fan of qualification. I am a fan of competence, getting the work done and not showing me paper. People can't do the work. You must do the damn job. That is what I care about. Thank you, Mr. Lassa. Let's see if we have another caller. Or Mr. Lassa, thank you. We appreciate you calling in today. So, folks, the line is still open. If you want to participate, the line is still open. Let me read some comments. Those who wrote their comments, let me read some comments here quickly. We have the man, Sir Richard Clinton. Let us enjoy the rescue mission and stop making empty noise around here. That is Richard Clinton. He writes again, GMB has gone further than we are with his showmanship of flying private jet. The current president flies private to his hometown, he writes. That was here from Howard. Howard writes, simple. Some of our leaders just don't care. Greediness in our leaders is destroying Liberia. And she writes again, we talk about the problems and government officials. How come focusing on what we can do? Farming, not anyone. What can we do, my people? She concludes there. This comment is from Real Issues. When you see your man Boise back on this blue app, then you know the rescue mission is not on course. GMB, my papa, you finish your... No, the old man didn't finish. The old man got 5 years to get it straight and make it happen. Like hear from Daniel here. Daniel writes, are you saying that Noel Gibson is not qualified for the job? You need to be real, my friend. Well, you need to help me. I'm talking about competence here. Peter White writes, the police RG needs to go. Why do you think the police RG needs to go? Give me more. Give me more. So, folks, those are all the comments that I can get to right now. And Mr. James Lassa also having to be our one and only caller. With that said, we will come to the end of yet another edition of the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C., your host. I will close the broadcast and I will close it right now. With no doubt, there's a need for a reshuffle. The government struggled very terribly in the first year. Accountability has been a complete mess. The rule of law has also been a disaster. There are a lot of incompetent individuals in the government who are not up to the task that the president needs to see reason to let go. The president brought about the performance mechanism, and the goal there is to assess and monitor and evaluate the performances of the cabinet ministers and then decide whether or not they deserve to stay on the job. From our assessment, evidenced by the performance we've seen so far, a good number of them have failed miserably. The president should use the governance tool that he has established and instituted to make sure those bad apples that worth absolutely nothing should be let go, and the government should be strengthened with competent and qualified people. Those individuals who demonstrated satisfactorily seriousness to their duty, the president should keep them. When the president should have done that, we will have an energized government. The rescue mission, as they call it, maybe will be serious for business. The way I see it, it is either not serious for business or want to be serious for business and not knowing how to be serious for business. Because you can't tell us no business as usual, and we see clandestine operations going on. You can't tell us no business as usual. Then you have a minister of foreign affairs who brought to the country a bogus scheme of a scholarship that was intended to dupe Liberian students, and then made the president to launch a scheme of a scholarship, and she stayed on the job with zero accountability whatsoever. You cannot be serious about accountability when the president says to his cabinet ministers, declare your assets, and some of them have not declared their assets, and they are staying on the job, and no action be taken from the president whatsoever. You cannot say you are for asset recovery, and the asset recovery team has not made a significant report of whatever they have retrieved. We have no record whatsoever. The first time we saw them was in the street, like kids trying to retrieve cards, and there was a legal action against that, and that was the end, and some members of that team resigned. And so, folks, because of time, I would like to take leave of you. I would like to remind you that it is in our collective and national interest for this government to be reshuffled and strengthened so that individuals who have the capacity to deliver for our people will be given an opportunity to serve, and not lazy individuals who only want to be in government to enjoy cars and enjoy fabulous salary and do absolutely nothing to waste our time. Time is not in our favor. There was a rescue mission intended to rescue our people from distress economically and politically. And here we are, agriculture, we are no near where we need to be. In terms of the provision of electricity, we are no near where we need to be. In terms of road conditions, we are no near where we need to be. And then, west of it all, we have a government that is of no different from the previous government when it comes to budgetary allotment, that allots over 85% of the budget to big shots and practically peanuts of nothing to our citizens to improve their human and material conditions. Hospitals are getting underfunded. Schools, community colleges are getting underfunded. Whereas the NSA, the place where they can hide the money, this government is behaving like previous government, sending huge amount of money with no accountability, no audit to that agency whatsoever. And the president is getting a budget of over 2 million. The speaker is getting about the same. The vice president is getting over 2 million. And all the community colleges, none can boast of a single, can boast of about 2 million of budget for our community colleges. How do you expect for all to impact knowledge in the future leaders of this country, in the counties? No wonder why everyone leaves their county and comes to Monrovia when Monrovia is congested. And now we have a man Jabate who's supposed to tell us about urban development. urban development my fault. This is not a rescue mission that I know to be one. No, this is not it. This is far from it. The president must wake up and get to business and get alert. It seems to be he's sleeping and he needs to wake up right now. This is the time to do it. This is a new government, new year we are in. Retool the government, strengthen it, and get to business and do the Liberian people work. My name is Anthony C. I brought you yet another edition of the Hour of Politics here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We will leave you now with our usual song that says, "We are all Liberians." Enjoy the song until we see you again. It's bye-bye from me.
We are Liberians.